What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, with a Fallout 4 discussion video that I'm actually really compelled and interested to make because I've been constantly seeing over the past couple of weeks a lot of bashing towards Fallout 4, and a lot of that is geared towards this game is not as content filled as the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. That is a major thing that I've been seeing, and whether it's people comparing the number of quests in Skyrim to the number of quests in Fallout 4, or talking about how there's not as many factions or races in Fallout 4, or whether the game doesn't have as much replayability, things like that. And on one side of the argument, I can understand completely why comparisons are being made of Fallout 4 to Skyrim. After all, they are both Bethesda Game Studios games. However, the flip side of the argument that I want to present to all of you and get all of your opinions on is, are those comparisons fair? Is it fair for people to compare Fallout 4 to Skyrim just because they're made by the same developer? On one side, yes, it is fair, because not only are they the same developer, but it's also an open world game, it's also an RPG, for the most part anyways. I know they've taken away some RPG elements, but in effect it is still technically an RPG, or it has a lot of RPG elements, and they're kind of in the same realm of gaming, if you will, if you consider it pragmatically. But on the flip side of the argument, and I'm not saying that this is my opinion, in fact I'm kind of on the fence and I don't know where I fall here, but wouldn't the comparisons be much fairer if they were made to Fallout 3? What I'm seeing lately is that people are kind of treating Fallout 4 as the sequel to Elder Scrolls Skyrim. And that seems completely absurd to me in a sense, because they're not the same IP, they're not the same game. Yes, they're both RPGs, yes, they're both open world games and made by the same developer. But I don't understand this incessant comparison to Skyrim, as opposed to the game that directly preceded Fallout 4, which is Fallout 3. I mean, are we meant to compare apples with apples or apples with oranges? Shouldn't comparisons be made, more so at least, to that game? Yes, comparisons can be made to Skyrim in the sense, well, you know, here are some RPG elements that Skyrim did better, well, you know, here are some open world elements that Skyrim did better, fair enough. But when you're considering, like, for example, the number of quests to Skyrim and Fallout 4, is that comparison fair to make? Because you know what people didn't do? They didn't look at Fallout 3 and say, well, the number of quests in Fallout 3 is nowhere near as close to as they were in Oblivion. Because if you actually look at the numbers, Fallout 4 has more quests than Fallout 3, plus its DLC combined. In fact, there are about 50 more quests, and yes, there are some Radiant quests, and a lot of those quests are faction-based quests that are tied to the main story. But nevertheless, you still have more questing in Fallout 4 than you do in Fallout 3. So why is Fallout 4 getting such a harsh treatment, even though it's technically bolstered what was there in Fallout 3? And again, Fallout 3, as far as my memory goes, was seen as a great game and was not compared to Oblivion to the extent that Fallout 4 is compared to Skyrim. Again, I don't know which side of the fence I fall on. I'm still very much on the fence in the middle here. But at the very least, what I'm trying to do is present some counter arguments to a lot of the arguments that I've been seeing thrown around with regards to Fallout 4. Do you guys disagree with that point of view? Do you think that the comparisons are completely fair, they're completely justified to the extent that they are being compared now? Or do you think comparisons should be more so made towards Fallout 3, given that that is the prequel essentially, given that that is the game that preceded it, and given that that is the same IP in the same game? I don't know, again, just presenting these arguments. You let me know in the comments below. So until next time, Wastelanders, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.